Shalom, Mishpachah. Hello, family, in Hebrew. I'm Elder Jan Meadows from the state of Texas, under the regional eldership of Cliff Rickman, with Elders Aaron Meadows and Shane Sparks. Thank you, Pastor Shane and Lady Karen and Bishop and Lady Kendrick, for your faithfulness, so we have this ministry to be a part of. Thank you for truth, and I praise Yah for the revelation he gives to our pastor each and every day that he willingly shares with us. I would also like to thank Minister Donna DeBard for compiling all these bridal qualities for us. Today is the 37th day, which is 5 weeks and 2 days of the counting of the Omer. Remember, there are 7 weeks of the counting, 49 days. The bridal quality for today is vigilant. The Hebrew word is daruk, and the scripture points are Matthew 26:41 and 1 Peter 5:8. Vigilance emphasizes the importance of staying alert and watchful, particularly in spiritual matters, to resist temptation and maintain spiritual strength. Vigilance encourages prayer, faith, and discernment to be prepared for godly action and to discern the times in which we live. Scripture repeatedly warns believers to be vigilant, emphasizing the need to be awake and attentive to spiritual threats. Yeshua warns his disciples to watch and pray lest you enter into temptation. Vigilance is a response to the adversary, the devil, who walks about seeking whom he may devour. Our life is described as a spiritual battle, and vigilance is essential for resisting the enemy's attacks. Prayer is a key tool for remaining vigilant, allowing believers to seek Yah's guidance and strength and wisdom. Vigilance involves discerning the present moment and understanding the world around us. Confidence must be placed in Yah and not in human institutions or personal abilities. Maintaining vigilance includes actively engaging in the means of grace, such as reading the word, prayer, and fellowship. The heart is the center of one's deepest convictions and should be guarded with all diligence. Proverbs 4:23. Vigilance helps believers avoid temptation and remain steadfast in their faith. Vigilance involves discerning the truth from deception and resisting manipulative influences. According to the 1828 Webster's Dictionary, vigilance is a noun, meaning a state of being awake, not asleep, watchfulness, cautious, looking around on all sides, attention of the mind in discovering and guarding against danger or providing for safety. Vigilant is an adjective which means watchful, to be sober, and to take your place. Matthew 26 shows us an example of the disciples not being vigilant. Yeshua asked Peter, James, and John to stay here, Gethsemane, and keep watch with him. Matthew 26:40, and Yeshua came unto the disciples and found them asleep. And he said to Peter, so you men could not stay awake and keep watch with me for 1 hour? Watch and be vigilant and pray, lest you enter into temptation. The spirit indeed is willing, but the flesh is weak. They fell asleep 2 more times. 1 Peter 5:8 says, be of sober spirit, be on the alert. Your adversary, the devil, prowls around like a roaring lion, seeking someone to devour. The concept of being vigilant, spoken of in 1 Peter 5:8, is present in the Torah. The phrase be vigilant is similar to the concept of mental preparedness, where vigilance is present. For example, Deuteronomy 6:17 instructs us to diligently keep the commandments of Yah, your Elohim, and his testimonies and his statutes, which he has commanded you. This commandment implies a need for vigilance in adhering to Yah's teachings. Another example can be found in Deuteronomy 11:16, which warns against being lured away to serve and worship other gods. This verse suggests the importance of being vigilant in guarding one's faith and loyalty to Yah. These examples illustrate how Peter was teaching Torah in 1 Peter 5:8, because the Torah has not passed away. The Torah emphasizes the importance of being observant and vigilant in fulfilling the commandments. It's not just about passively adhering to the rules, but actively seeking out opportunities to perform good deeds. The Torah highlights the importance of protecting the vulnerable and combating injustices, particularly those against the poor and marginalized. Being vigilant in this context means being aware of and actively resisting any policies or actions that could pervert justice or harm vulnerable groups, such as abortion, sex trafficking, confusing children about their gender, redefining marriage, and on and on and on. Some interpretations of the Torah emphasize the need to guard against spiritual decline and temptations. This vigilance involves being mindful of potential pitfalls and actively working to maintain a strong connection to Yah and Torah observance. The Torah calls for vigilance against the allure of idolatry, sexual immorality, and other sins that lead to personal or societal downfall. Certain historical narratives, like Phinehas, the priest in Numbers 25, are interpreted by some as examples of vigilante justice, where individuals took matters into their own hands when the moral system is perceived as failing. Phinehas was a priest, specifically Eleazar's son and Aaron's grandson, who is known for his act of zealotry. In Numbers 25:11, Phinehas avenges the name of Yah, and Yah grants him a covenant of peace and a perpetual priesthood for him and his descendants. Phinehas exhibited vigilance in dealing with sexual immorality in Israel's camp immediately. You need to read that story. Vigilantes get a bad rap, but we should be truth vigilantes, don't you think? Originally, a vigilante was a hero whose work aligned with the law. We are Torah vigilantes. Other examples of vigilance is seen in 1 Samuel 15, when Samuel kills Agag because Saul was disobedient to the command of Yah, and Samuel did what Yah had commanded Saul to do. Mattathias defied and killed the Greek officials and a Jewish priest who were willing to sacrifice to a pagan god and defile the temple, as seen in the book of Maccabees. Yeshua himself overturned the money changers' tables when he saw men turning the house of his father into a den of thieves. He saw a wrong and made it right, even when no one else would. And this is recorded in all 4 Gospels. When you study the timeline of Yeshua's 1-year ministry, you will find that he cleansed the temple on 2 different and separate occasions, both at Passover. The first time was at the beginning of his ministry, as recorded in John 2:15. And the second time was at the end of his ministry, as recorded in Matthew 21:12 and 13, Mark 11:15 through 18, and Luke 19:45 through 46. Interesting, don't you think, that the cleansing of the temple were the bookends in Yeshua's ministry. So now Yeshua is cleansing the temple for the 3rd time. And who is the 3rd temple? We are. We are being cleansed right now as we count the Omer and become aligned with all the bridal qualities and not only follow Torah, but become Torah, the word of Yah itself. A vigilant life involves being attentive to Yah's call, seeking his guidance, and being prepared to act in accordance with his will. As we seek Yah through prayer and meditation today, be reminded to guard your heart with all vigilance. Also remember that you are not left to yourself for this grand task. It is your Father who empowers and enables you to do this. So be vigilant, saints. Yeshua is coming back soon as King of Kings, and he wants me, and he wants you, and you, and you, and you to rule and reign with him. So do not take the commandments lightly. Do not keep the Sabbath lightly. Be vigilant. Be vigilant. Shalom, shalom. Thank you for listening.